Hi there guys, welcome back to a new video. Today's video is going to be all based around gold, the easiest way to trade it, the most simple way to trade it, and also just seeing it in action, exactly how to read gold and the levels it reacts off. So if you are someone who trades gold or someone who is interested in trading gold, this video should be quite beneficial for you. So firstly, what I just want to break down is that if we are looking at gold just from a normal basis, what we can see usually is something like this. Now, this isn't saying this is the play which is going to happen every time, but usually what you'll see with gold is structural break and retests, respecting previous structure, and so on and so forth. So that is basically how I would look at gold. The most simple way to trade it is by using structure, support and resistance. And I know some people might now in their head be switched off by this, but honestly, that is just the best way to do it. So if we previously look at gold and just see what happened, if we start from the left-hand side of the screen, you can see really, what did you first have here? You had a break and retest. So if I just do this, you had a break retest and then price came back. What happens again then in the future? If I move this along, what do you see? You've had little reactions, and then what have you had? Bit of support and then break retest resistance. Here, you've had resistance, little pullback, break. You could expect a retest of this area. So just looking at gold from these kind of perspectives, seeing up here, what have you had? You had a low there. You had low, 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 break, retest, big push, back up, retest, big push. And what can you see now? Price is now trading above that level. So this is a key area that you would have in the market. Okay. If we look a little bit higher and just look on the previous of what's happened, you see you've had resistance here, you had a small pullback there, and then a bigger pullback, which gave a larger move here. So overall, if I'm looking at this structure point here, I'm saying that for gold, this is a big resistance area that I would personally look to trade. Okay. If we look a little bit lower, what can we see down here? We can see that there was a nice low within the market. That price has then come back and retested. And this is a nice big support area in the market. If you look further left, what also happened, it was a break retest, which wasn't immediate because obviously the reaction happened before, but you could then increase the size of your zone to something like that. So you've had resistance all the way, support, support. What are the chances of price reacting in this lower level the next time price hits it? Quite great. Okay. If we look a little bit higher and start keeping our areas on the chart, this is what we'd be looking at up here. And honestly, guys, the chart itself, it is a very simple way of doing it. There's no point overcomplicating it. And this is basically what you would look at. What can we see down here? Well, I can see that there was actually a low here, which was then retested and then broke and retested. And then if we go further along, what can you see? You can see that this zone was continuously respected moving forward. So what once was this little area here, you had support, 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 break, retest, resistance, support, 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 all the way across, and you could even increase your zone size up to there. So already, just from looking at these charts here, I'm building up a picture of the levels that price may react from. If we look here, you can see you've had a resistance zone here, and then also a resistance zone there. If I move my zone left, what can we also see? You've had a lot of resistance, turn support, and then what can we see now? We had a break retest overnight, going up higher. So just on a very simplistic level, these are my areas that I could trade using gold. If you then start adding things, like you might add trend lines, you might be someone who does trend lines, you might have a trend line there. You might even have a trend line up here, which you can see the third touch did give a nice reaction. So you could have traded that. Price then broke and retested the trend line on the support and resistance area, and price pushed up. Now, when you are trading gold, guys, you don't need to complicate it, because at the end of the day, because it's a very structurally sound pair, it's not something you need to worry about. So what I would personally say is that drawing these nice levels, no matter what the time frame as well. If we dropped into the 1 hour, you would see exactly the same process. And what you can start to do is just build up a picture. You might add a Fibonacci, which you can see you've not got any trades really using the Fibonacci. You might even start to add EMAs like this and then see if your EMAs line up anyway. You might say, you know what, I've got an EMA pushing down at the bottom here. Let me set that as a limit order, or let me have it as a zone of interest, okay? And that's basically as simple as it needs to get. So if I was approaching gold from, even if you're new to trading or if you're further along in your journey, all I would say is that when you are looking at gold, just keep an eye on the structure. I'm not saying it's the only way to trade gold, because it's not, but focusing on the market structure of the areas where prices respected previously is going to be your best bet in finding good trades. If you wanted, let's say here, we know we had the break retest, and obviously let's assume that might have missed you pending, but let's just assume it tagged you in. You can put your stop below it, and then if you really wanted, you could tag the next resistance area, which this trade here potentially could give you a 2-to-1. It's obviously not worked yet. It still could obviously take you break even, but overall, from that perspective, this is what you're looking at. Okay, so I'm hopeful, guys, that if you are watching this video, whether you're new to trading, you're a bit further into your journey, doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, gold is a very structurally sound pair. There's nothing that you need to worry about with it. Just obviously take note of the news. The biggest thing with gold is the news. It's a big mover off the back end of US dollar news, so just keep that in mind when you are looking to take positions. So any questions, drop them in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.